Hello. In this set of examples, we are going to be figuring out whether or not these sequences are in fact geometric. If they are, then we're going to state the first term and R, which is that common ratio. So let's go ahead and do that. So in this first one, we can look at it and see that 3 times 4 would be 12. So if I can multiply 12 by 4 and get 48, and then 48 by 4 and get 192, then this is in fact a geometric sequence. So I'm just checking to make sure that I'm multiplying by the same thing each time. So if I put that, if I can either do that in my head or put that in a calculator, and I will see that that is in fact the case. If I multiply this by multiply 3 by 4, I get 12. Multiply that by 4, I get 48. Multiply that by 4, I get 192. So this is, in fact, a geometric sequence because I can multiply by the same number each time, and I will always get the next term. So now that I know that, I need to state the first term and the R. So the first term is easy. It's just the first term. So A1 equals 3, right? R, we already said I'm multiplying by 4 each time. So we figure that out in the process of figuring out whether or not this is a geometric sequence. So once you've figured out that this sequence is geometric, then you should already know A1 and R. There shouldn't be any extra work that you have to do afterward. So let's go on to number 2. So for number 2, I don't know what times 11, negative 11 would give me negative 20. So I'm going to put that in a calculator. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the next term by the previous term. So you always want to do it in that order. Next divided by previous. So that's negative 20. Oops. Type things in the calculator correctly. Negative 20 divided by 11. And that gives me 1.81 repeating. So then to check to see if this sequence is geometric, I need to multiply negative 20 by that ratio, by 1.81 repeating, and see if I get negative 29, which is the next number in my sequence. So what I'm doing is I'm doing negative 20 times 1.81, that ratio that I just found. So I'm putting that in my calculator, and I get negative 36.36 repeating. Well, that's not negative 29. So this is clearly not a geometric sequence because I didn't get this, which is what I was expecting to get here. That's what I wanted to get there if this was going to be a geometric sequence. I didn't, so it's not. So my answer, I don't really have room to write it, so I'm just going to write it up here. My answer is not geometric. Okay, so that's the answer to number 2. It was not geometric because I couldn't find a common ratio. There isn't one. So it's not geometric. So let's go on to number 3. Number 3, to get from negative 1 to 4, I need to multiply by negative 4, right? Negative 1 times negative 4 would give me positive 4. So if I multiply positive 4 by negative 4, do I get negative 16? Yes. If I multiply negative 16 by negative 4, do I get positive 64? Yes. So this is in fact geometric. I can see that by multiplying each thing by negative 4 and seeing that I get the next thing. So it is geometric, so I need to write out my first term. Sorry, that looks like a 9. It's supposed to be an A. And then R, we said was negative 4. And the sign does matter, right? Because if the R is negative, then our sign changes each time. If R is positive, then the sign doesn't change. So like here, when the sign was, when it was positive 4, the signs didn't change. But when it's negative 4, when it's negative, anytime r is negative, it's going to alternate between negative and positive throughout the sequence. So that'll be a hint to you if your r is supposed to be negative. All right, so let's look at number 4. Number 4, just by looking at this, I can see that I'm adding 1 each time, right? 16, 17, 18, 19, those numbers are in order. So since I'm adding the same number each time, this is clearly an arithmetic sequence, not a geometric sequence. So I don't even have to go through all of the work that I did here because I'm able to see right away that this is arithmetic. If it's arithmetic, then it can't be geometric. So I'm going to say not geometric because I know for certain that it's arithmetic. So these are kind of the two ways to see if something is not geometric, right? You find the ratio and see that it doesn't work for the next term, then it's not geometric. Or if you figure out that it is in fact arithmetic, then it's not geometric. So that is that. So we're done with this slide, and I will see you in the next video.